Hi, welcome to the Radical Rose podcast called Holy Politics. My first segment today is called Qualification Nation. What are the qualifications you need to be president of the United States? I'm going to tell you. You've got to be 35 years of age and you have to be an American-born citizen. Not too hard, right? For such a big job, a job where you have the potential to push a button that could cause a nuclear war that could actually wipe out mankind. To be the President of the United States, 35 years of age, and an American-born citizen. That's it. So the leader of the free world, the man who can give a command to do such a thing, our president, Mr. Biden, that's all the qualifications he needed to hold the seat. The most powerful man in the world can push a button that can destroy all of mankind. Can't remember where he's at. Can't remember if he's in Texas or Michigan. Talks to dead people, unfortunately. We're sorry about their passing away, but our president is talking to people that have passed on. Maybe he should have been a medium or a psychic. Old Joe, campaigning from his basement, was making commercials saying he was running for senator. He thought Barack Obama was still president. He can't remember anyone's name correctly. And to sum it up, he's not competent or qualified to work as a school crossing if we go in today's society as let's get into the job market of today. So we got the President of the United States, you got to be 35 and all you have to do is be an American-born citizen, to be a crossing guard, to work at McDonald's. Here we go, people, get ready, hold on to your seats here. So Uncle Joe, that's all you need. You want to be a fast food worker? Here's what they want to know about you. Get ready. Are you over the age of 18? Have you ever been convicted of a crime or a felony? Not including giving Hunter Biden free rides on Air Force One to invest in China's hedge fund, but they want to know if I've ever been convicted of a crime. Am I 18? Am I a criminal? Can I lift 100 pounds? That's on the job application. Can it affect your ability to do the job? Do I have the ability to do this job? Mind you, we're talking about McDonald's. We're talking about a drive-through window and me taking orders. This is what we're talking about for job qualifications. Are you crazy? Do you have psychological issues we should know about? Are you mentally or physically able to do the job? We all know that if you don't answer this, now they say on the application, you don't have to answer this. It's involuntary. You know that you're not getting that job at McDonald's if you do not answer it. So those are the qualifications if you want to get the job. Who was your last boyfriend, they may ask you. Or girlfriend. Do you have a cat? What's your favorite color? Tell me every job you've had since you were 18 years old. Let's go over that. How many jobs have you had to flip burgers? They want to know this at McDonald's. Do you know what time it is? What day of the week you were born? On and on we go. Your opinion of evolution versus creation. Folks, you know you're in trouble when to be president, all you have to do is be 35 and to be a natural-born American citizen. When, in order to work at McDonald's, you have a job where all you're saying is, do you want fries with your hamburger? And that's what they're going to put you through, is all this testing, all this criteria to work at McDonald's. But to be president, you don't need any qualifications. You just got to be an American-born citizen and 35 years of age, and you have the power to destroy, to push a nuclear button. And in this case, we have a president that, whether you like him or not, we all know has some serious issues. Number 2, here's my next big pet peeve about holy politics, is term limits. Okay, these people marry their jobs. Nancy's been in forever. Chucky Schumer reminds me of the Chucky doll. He's been in there 30 years. And let's not forget McConnell. This McConnell, who looks like Kermit the Frog, he's been in there 30 years too, okay? What would you say about today's lifers, like Nancy and the Senate and Congress? You know, they've been in 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Biden, 50 years. What about our veterans in today's world? Why don't they get the same health care as these people in Washington? Why aren't we taking care of our poor veterans with the same kind of health care that we give Congress, senators, and the President of the United States that don't need any qualifications for their job? There's bartenders that are congressional. Nothing against bartenders. God bless you. We all need our martinis now and then. But I'm going to tell you something. We've got to realize that the attack on democracy isn't just what happened on January 6th. It's what's happening today by who we're electing in office that is messing the way this country should be ran and was founded on. Our forefathers never expected you to be in office for 50 years, Mr. Biden, and forever Nancy, Aunt Nancy, you too, and the rest of them. Mitch, you've got to go along with them because you people can't get along, but you expect us to get along. What you have done was divided the American people. You won't even let me put my own nationality on a job application. You have me as white. I'm not white. I'm Italian. My parents came from Italy. Why is my nationality not on there? And yes, I'm mad. Holy politics is right. You've identified me as white. You've identified people as black. Some of them are Indians. But guess what? They can be identified, but I can't. I can't identify that I'm an Italian girl, and I'm proud of who I am. But you'll never know that on a job application because America, our government has separated us, and I'm here to reunite us. How do we get reunited? Well, term limits is one. Get rid of these people. They marry their jobs. They have better benefits. They have their own post office where they're actually get their checks deposited. They get free stamps. They go as far as trading where they could actually buy into the stock market and leave the House floor when they find out a stock tip and go, and they voted to be immune from that. That's called insider trading. People, wake up. But if Ralph, the mechanic down the street, tells the Italian girl that he has a hot stock tip, I'm going to jail. You people have to wake up about what's really going on in Washington, D.C. Stop watching the wrong news. Number one, they're all wrong. They all put their own spin on it. Fox puts their spin on it. CNN puts their spin on it. MSNBC puts their spin on it, and I'm going to tell you why. It's all about money and power. And unfortunately, it's hurting us. It's dividing us instead of uniting us. So let's go back to Nancy Pelosi forever. Some of the public servants make Rip Van Winkle look like a child. When they say Joe Biden drives a Lincoln, they really mean Joe Biden's driving President Lincoln around, okay? That's what they mean. That's how long they've been in office. When you ask Aunt Nancy if she thinks Kennedy, silver dollar's a good coin, Aunt Nancy's going to say, I paid Jack Kennedy back years ago with cash, okay? When you ask Mr. Mitch if he likes Ike and Mike, he's going to say, I told him passionately I did. These people are not like you and I. They're just not. They don't even care, or they don't care about our needs. They're the ones. Have you ever met a poor politician? You're never going to, because they're making all the money, telling you what they think you want to hear, and they're dividing us even more instead of uniting us. So let's talk about that. They get paid millions of dollars, including the money they reserve from the deep pockets of lobbyists representing large corporations in cases hostile governments. Benefits which I believe veterans should receive. Not Congress and the U.S. Senate get these benefits for life. These are lifetime benefits that taxpayers have to pay, while people in our country are poor, starving, I've seen somebody today, as a matter of fact, coming down to where I'm at, sitting somewhere that's homeless. How sad is that? This is America. It's supposed to be land of the free, home of the brave. There's nothing free here. There's nothing free here. Matter of fact, we could have charities now. I'm on a charity. I'm on a board where I help people, okay? Because I think people in need, unless you've lived it, unless you've walked in somebody's shoes and experienced poverty, you could possibly never understand it, Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, Mitch McConnell. You, Mitch, you're against you're for life, but yet you don't want to feed these babies born. You're nothing but a hypocrite. All of you are. You guys should be ashamed of yourself, what you've allowed in this nation. I'm a woman. I'm a Christian woman, and I'm proud of who I am and what I stand for. And I'm going to tell you something else that you may not like. This group that came out against all the violence, cop killers. There's good and bad in every profession. There's bad doctors. They get sued for negligence. There's bad school teachers. There's bad cops. We've got to figure out a way to help the cops instead of defund them. We need more. And we got to train them properly because they've put up with too much on the streets and they can't handle it either. So what do? We make statues out of criminals. We want to take our history away from people. If you want to, I think, in my honest opinion, every student in America should watch the movie The Green Book. And let me tell you something. I laughed. I cried at that movie. It was a true story, and that's the kind of history kids need to see today in this generation of what really went happen in the South when poor blacks were beaten to death, beaten, brutalized, never had a chance. And guess who was president in America? John F. Kennedy, a Democrat. Wake up. Both sides are in on it. It's all about money and power and what's popular to them. Nothing's new. It's been going on since the 60s in this country, but nobody will do anything about it because it's not politically correct. Well, I'm going to make it politically correct. We need to unite. The government, if you people can't get along, I say get rid of your pensions, your paychecks, and let's do a 5-man parliament in this country because you've ruined everything. Inflation's up. People couldn't afford it before. How do you expect them to afford it now? They can't, and it's only getting worse because you people can't get along and figure it out. Both sides are wrong. Both sides have wicked evilness to them. Both sides only care about their own agendas. They don't care about the poor, hurting people in this country. Both sides are at fault. So if you can't get along, I'm suggesting a 5-man parliament. Also, we're going to talk about their post office. They have their own post office where they have financial business under the cloud. They get free stamps, thousands of them. And this is a widespread privileges. If you or I made $50 on a stock tip, we're going to jail. But if they do it, it's legal. But you and I, we're not in the same boat. What if you are Congress and you are writing legislation that will benefit a large oil company? You can take a bathroom break, call your stockbroker, get a new tip, go bet that tip, come back, get it passed, and nothing happens to you. Jailbait. You're hired to work for you. Just make sure they don't talk to the press. The main thing is making sure no one's talking to the press about this because the press we're going to CNN, MSNBC, and Fox. They all do the same thing. You can't talk to the press because they spin it. We the people, if you believe in that, you should invest your life savings in cryptocurrency. Yes, just like Grandma used to do. Okay, Aunt Nancy? Just like Grandma. 3, election night. Next topic. How many of us have been to elections where you went and voted that night you came home and you found out who got elected? Now you can earn a degree online faster than you can find out the results of the election. You can't find out. It takes months, weeks to get the votes counted. It doesn't make sense. So if it doesn't make sense, it's not working, does it? It's no longer one day, in fact. Well, let's take a look. You can go drop off your ballot at a still box anywhere in the state of Ohio. Anywhere in any state, you could go drop it off. Before the election, like when you used to go to Walmart or Disneyland and rely on some stranger at some point in time to find your ballot and count it. It's like tossing a message in a bottle into the Atlantic Ocean. You can also use a ballot harvester. You can walk into your board of elections weeks before an election and cast your ballot, but you can't get the results sometimes until a month, a week, maybe even 2 months later. And in fact, you have to have a runoff. In Georgia, they're having a runoff. I don't even understand what that means. They're having a runoff. If Warnock got the votes and he's the governor, I don't understand what the runoff is, why they're having a runoff. Again, wake up, America. You've been sold a bill of bad goods, okay? You've been lied to by many people. Just like this group that's cost billions of dollars with all the destruction they caused in the insurance world. They called themselves a charity. That same charity, I belong to a charity. That same charity, the president, I found out, bought 3 mansions, very similar to the Hillary Clinton hedge fund, where you go out and you speak, you make hundreds of thousands of dollars and call it a charity. The charity I work for is volunteer. We don't get paid. No one gets paid. We pass food out on Christmas. We make sure that people have blankets, clothing, food. We get no government funding. We're not out there destroying people's property, businesses, because of what we believe that maybe never have affected us, but affected our ancestors. And yet that president owns 3 mansions. Do we call that a charity? A 501c? To me, that's a fraud. And what they brought into this country was nothing but more hate. They divided us even more. Now, who's behind that charity? I saw that woman's interview. She claims rich men gave her the money. What rich men would give this woman this kind of money to buy mansions and to cause all this hatred in this country? I would love to debate the head of BLM and ask her, who gave you this money? Who brought you to this point to cause all this destruction as you walk away? You were supposed to use that money to help people, to help black families. You're a fraudulent organization, and I'm asking you to debate me about your 501c, because I'm in a 501c, and we could never have gotten away with what you've gotten away with. So when we talk about January 6th and the big attack on democracy, yes, that was an attack. And that guy with the red hair that's crazy half the time, was he behind it? I bet you most certainly he was. He lost the election. He couldn't handle the defeat. He took it one step further. But guess what? CNN, MSNBC, they're still talking about it. They talk about his followers, these crazy people that drive trucks that are proud boys or girls, whatever they are. In the January 6th problem we had in Washington, 5 deaths occurred. 3 of them were, and nobody should have died. 3 of those deaths were medical emergencies. 1 was shot by a guard, shot an unarmed woman, and the other one I'm not sure about. 5 deaths total on January 6th. The news media blew that up and called that an attack on our democracy. Guess what? Guess who owns the Capitol? You and me. If you're paying taxes, that building belongs to us. And you're right. It should have never happened. I disagree with what happened on January 6th. But I also disagree what happened in this country where a movement came in here, destroyed innocent people's businesses, looted, robbed, and our vice president, along with other people, was demanding them to be let out of jail, put money out to let them be out of jail. But the other movement on January 6th, they're in there for 24 years. Do you see what I'm talking about? None of this makes sense. We have to unite. We have to throw this government out, start electing people that are good people, good Christian-based people, people that have a conscience, people that actually care about other human beings, not themselves, not big corporate America, not big, rich, greedy corporations that are taking food and money out of our kids. What future do our children have in this country and our grandchildren? Yeah, we're going to open the borders. We're going to let them all in, but we can't take care of our veterans that are in this country. We're going to give people to cross this border more benefits than we're going to give veterans that fought for our freedom. That's what's wrong with America. That's what's got to change. That's where the attack on democracy is. It's us not voting for the right people, making qualifications change, making Washington change the way they do business. You may think, I'm only 1 vote. I can't change America. Your voice matters to me. Your vote matters. We have to unite this nation, work together, and form a way to get rid of all these lifers that have been in there and have done nothing but make matters worse for the American people. With that being said, you could fly to India and meet your Facebook friend there, who is a snake charmer, and come back to your home in time for the final count by the time you get the election results. Welcome to America. Welcome to holy politics, because that's what's going on in our country today. Did you ever ask yourself why it takes so long for these votes to come in? Did you ever ask yourself about all these different ballot boxes that are all over the place you could drop it in? When did this happen? Why did it happen? Who's behind it? I'm going to give you my opinion. Let's start with Facebook. The minute you said something wrong in the election of this past election, you were banned. You went to Facebook jail. I've been in Facebook jail because I gave an opinion. Mark Zuckerberg should not be allowed to do business in America as a foreigner, and not, he puts his business on United States soil, but you can't speak what you want to speak unless he agrees with it. How insane are we? We're losing our freedom of speech, for God's sakes. When are we going to stand up and unite everybody instead of dividing? When? When are you going to get out there and say, I'm not going to storm the... Think about what they did on January 6th. They had a cause. They had a passion. They thought that the election was fraudulent. They went as far as going down there and causing all this havoc, all this. I found out later that the supposed president asked Pelosi to call the National Guard. Nobody's ever confirmed whether that was true or not. You want to know why? Because not one news outlet would say that. All this money we spent, millions of taxpayers' dollars, trying to indict this red-headed freak that doesn't talk right, that doesn't sound right, that makes fun of people, that didn't have the proper tools on learning how to speak, and had a show called, I don't know, he was a reality talk show guy, okay, or had his own reality show, The Apprentice, where he was getting people jobs. We elected him to office, but when he got in, we spent millions to throw him out. Why? Because he didn't talk right? Because he didn't look like you? Because he was a bully? Because you thought he was dividing this country? You people have been dividing this country since the 60s. This just didn't happen, and you've done nothing about it, and it's getting worse. So here I am. Radical Rose shows up because I'm determined to file petitions with every Secretary of State to throw these people out. They're not competent to hold office, starting with you, Mr. Biden. You don't even know where you're at. It's a sin and a shame to see you up there. I feel bad because my mother had dementia. It's not right. It's not right to let a party come up and do something so horrific to people, to get somebody elected, to throw another guy out because you don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he talks either. I don't support some of his policies. But I'm beginning to look back now and think, geez, 4 years ago, I was paying $2 for gas. Today I'm paying $5. Today I'm paying $5. Today I'm at the grocery store. Giant Eagle, here's a kick to you. I wanted to buy Chex Mix. Guess how much it was for a little bag? $5.69. Under the last red-haired guy, I wasn't paying that. I was paying $2.39. I did my homework. Chex Mix, $5.69. How are Americans supposed to keep up with inflation? How? How are these people in Washington making all this money? They're millionaires. If I saw, after I voted, I had to go home and take a bath. I felt so sleazy. All the commercials, all the rotten commercials I saw about all these politicians. This one said Ohioans are hillbillies. The other guy from Youngstown, Ohio, my own hometown. Tim, come on. You could have did better than putting up beer cans on your commercials and trying to run for U.S. Senate and trying to act like Donald Trump when we all know you hated his guts. That's the attack on democracy. That's why you didn't get elected senator. People saw that. Come on, people. We need to be who we are. Stand up. Let your word be impeccable. 4 ingredients I'm going to give you to trying to find a better place and to live a better life. Number 1, let your word be impeccable. Number 2, don't assume anything. Number 3, don't compare yourself. And number 4, always give your best. I'm giving you my best. I'm giving you today my heart. I'm speaking truths that maybe you don't want to face. Maybe you don't want to believe. But these are facts. This isn't CNN. I'm with nobody. I'm Radical Rose, and this is holy politics. I'm telling you, remember, I'm not new to it. I'm true to it. That's who I am. I'm true to this because I'm that convicted of what's going on in this country. I've seen it. To be a fly on the wall and to watch the election night totally disappear. Go to bed, somebody's got this many votes, you wake up, it's weeks before they're counted. I'll never understand that. Just what goes on. I'll never understand what goes on. I hope that today you get a little informative of what these shows are going to be like. I'm going to be bringing guests on. I'd like to talk to you about H1N1. It was in this country in 2009. If anyone had it, 200,000 Americans died from H1N1. 1 million people got it. Here we are. Now, I do believe Tony Fauci was right. Viruses mutate. I've talked to the #1 infectious disease doctor in Cleveland, but the world, WHO is not going to agree with this. Viruses do mutate, I believe that. Here we are in 2022, and we got a virus called COVID-19. Just so you know, COVID-19 is called SARS-2. H1N1 was called SARS-1. Viruses could have very similarities. COVID-19 has the same test that SARS-1, H1N1 has. It goes up the nose all the way to the sinus, and it's a 14-day quarantine. Look it up. You can't make it up. Each president, from George Bush to Barack to Trump, we're all told about this virus. Where are we at today? We're still getting virus. We're still getting the virus, and we've had 10 vaccines. People, it's not working. It's going to take us to change America. I'm asking for your help. Welcome to Radical Rose, part 1 of Qualification Nation. Get ready for next time. Thank you.